Welcome back, everybody. Now today's video is a little bit different. It's one part review and one part race against the clock. Now for the review portion, I'm going to be doing this quesadilla maker, which I've had some requests for. But while reading the Amazon comments, people were saying that it saved time. But my thought was, does it save time if you don't have the ingredients on hand and you have to run to the store and get them versus a Taco Bell run? So I'm going to compare how long it takes to run to the store, get the ingredients in back, and then making one versus a Taco Bell run, and also how long it takes when you have ingredients on hand. So I've got 3 different tests to do. But before I get started, let's crack this open and see what's inside. Some instructions. There we go. It looks pretty nice. So taking a close look, there is a drip tray that you're supposed to slide in underneath the front here. Some kind of recessed areas here. Now all you're supposed to do really is just apply some cooking oil and you're pretty much good to go. There's a lock right there, which locks or releases it. Let's set a quick baseline now. I'm gonna run to Taco Bell and buy a cheese quesadilla. I'll start my clock as soon as I leave, and I'll stop it as soon as I get back to this table. All right, off to Taco Bell. We're starting the stopwatch right now. Here we go. Oh yeah, I'm getting excited already. Could I just have one cheese quesadilla, please? There you go. All right, thank you. Oh, that was fast. I only left my house 6 minutes ago. I've already got my food. It's gonna be tough to beat. Now I know there's a lot of other variables that could be accounted for, like you could DoorDash. There could be traffic on the way there. There could be a long line at Taco Bell. So this is just one version of what could possibly happen. So I realize there's a lot of other outcomes that could happen besides this. All right, here we go, and stop. Exactly 13 minutes from the time I left. All right, there it is. So that's the time to beat. Now, considering it takes this quesadilla maker 3 to 7 minutes, I'm not even gonna try to beat that time, there's no way. But I do wanna see what kind of a time difference there is from going to the store versus just making when you have the ingredients here. So now I'm gonna go to the store and get all the ingredients I need. I'm gonna start my stopwatch as soon as I leave, and I'll stop my stopwatch as soon as I have a finished quesadilla right here. All right, off to the grocery store. We'll see how long this takes. I only need 2 things, tortillas and salsa. I got everything else at home. Starting the stopwatch now. Well, that took a little longer than I thought it was going to. There's kind of the full crowd scene at the salsa aisle. Gotta make up some time now. I'm waiting for traffic. Come on, I got quesadillas to make. Hurry up. All right, it took a little longer in the store than I wanted to. I'm already at over 18 minutes and I haven't started cooking anything yet. Let's get going here. One thing I want to check out here. Now this is an 8-inch quesadilla maker, and as you can see, it does not overlap the edges there. And their box shows it the same way. This shows that it's inside that lip right there. But their Amazon listing photo shows something a little bit different. Now they show an outer rim that will seal the edges. I don't have that. Very disappointing. But I'm going to try it out and see what happens. If not, I'll go to a bigger shell, I guess. Red light is on, and we're already pushing 20 minutes here. First thing I'm going to do is put some oil on here. Now we wait until it's done preheating. As it's preheating, there's not a very pleasant smell coming out of there, but it usually happens for new electronics. I did wash it off, but we'll see. Oh, and the green light just went on, so I think we're ready to go. They said not to use more than 1/4 cup of cheese, so I've got it measured out here. It's not very big. I'm just gonna spoon a little bit of green salsa on here. All right, now we top it and close it for 3 to 7 minutes. I'll keep an eye on this and see how it goes. About 2 minutes in, there's a lot of sizzling going on. Well, we're getting there. It seems like a lot of it did come out of the side. The model they show is different than the model I'm using. I wonder if 10-inch shells will be better. I don't know. Kind of smoking a little bit. Oh man, that cheese is just going everywhere. The good news is that the sizzling has kind of calmed down, but the bad news is that I know that it's probably already oozed out the edges already. Nowhere in the instructions does it say 8-inch shells though. It's an 8-inch maker, but it doesn't say use 8-inch shells. We're about 5.5 minutes. I think I'm gonna call it here. Unplugging it. Look how much cheese came out of the edges. I don't know about that. I am not sure about that, but let's take it out there. Maybe it'll be good. We shall see. Final time, a little over 28 minutes. Here we go. Quesadilla maker, Taco Bell. And this one took me about 15 minutes longer than this one did. But it is homemade, so maybe there's a difference here. So all we can do now is do a taste test. Taco Bell versus the quesadilla maker. First up, Taco Bell. It's a familiar flavor and pretty good. Now it's time for the quesadilla maker. I have no idea what to expect here. It's like one big toasted piece. It's like I could hold it up. It's kind of rigid. Maybe that's a good thing. Much crispier than the Taco Bell quesadilla. Quesadilla maker. Not much cheese in there. They said don't use more than 1/4 cup of cheese. I hardly taste any cheese in there. I feel like most of the cheese is back here. Not much is actually in the piece itself. All right, so as far as the competition part of this video goes, that's over. Taco Bell is pretty fast and convenient if you have one nearby and there's no traffic or line. This tastes a little bit less greasy. Of course, there's less everything in there. But I want to go back to the drawing board. I'm not sure if these 8-inch shells are ideal for this. I'm going to try a 10-inch shell and see if it seals on the outside. So let me clean this thing off, go get some 10-inch shells and see how that works. And I'm also going to load them up a little bit more to be thicker, kind of like the Taco Bell, because these are just paper thin. There's not much in there. So let's do that and see what happens. I was getting my jacket on to go back to the store, and Bailey saw me and thought we were gonna go outside and play ball. So a quick detour before I get back to my review. I mean, how can you resist that face, right? You know, I probably should have just got 10-inch shells from the first time. I don't know why I didn't, but I guess I just believed the packaging when it said 8-inch. And maybe 8-inch is right, but just seems like 10-inch would be better because you have that sealer on the outside. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's try round 2. I make some adjustments here. I've got 10-inch shells to see how that goes. I'm not sticking with a 1/4 cup of cheese because that wasn't quite enough. And I'm gonna try some chicken this time. So here we go. It's already been preheated and oiled. We're ready to rock. Once you put that on there, you're kind of under the gun because it starts cooking it right away. It's gonna sprinkle some green salsa throughout here. Placing the second shell. Closing the unit. Even though it's a larger shell, it did lock, so I don't know, I've got high hopes for this one. At the 2.5 minute mark, Bailey came in here because she smells something, and I've got some steam coming out of here, so we should be getting close. At the 3.5 minute mark, we've got some leakage. And there she goes. There it goes. We're almost 6 minutes. It's kind of leaking everywhere, so I'm gonna pull the plug here. Let's see what we got. And, well, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, we've got a little bit of leakage around the edges, but I like the fact that it's sealed on the edges for the most part. Not completely, but a little bit. Let's retrieve this out of here. It comes out as one nice big flat piece. Pretty nice. Let's take a look at one of these wedges here now. I think this looks better. The 10-inch, they don't say it's supposed to use 10-inch shells, but to me a 10-inch shell is better. Personal preference, obviously. That's good. I got Bailey down there begging me. Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, I guess it's a personal preference whether you want to use an 8-inch shell or a 10-inch shell. To me, the 10-inch shell works better. Right here, we've got the original 8-inch shell that I did, which wasn't bad. The Taco Bell, and then the 10-inch shell. To me, the 10-inch shell worked best. The Taco Bell is obviously good, but they're always very, very flimsy. These are nice and crispy. You can see it holds up nicely. So, I mean, if I had to choose, I would take this one. But I guess everybody has a difference of opinion. All right, so let's unpack everything here now. As far as the race against the clock goes, you can get it faster from Taco Bell unless you have the ingredients on hand, and it might be about the same speed. But Taco Bell, to me, was a little bit greasier, a little bit less crispy, and you can't really customize it as much. The ones in the Quesadilla maker, you can pretty much put in there what you want. You can use 8 or 10-inch shells. To me, it was not as greasy either, so I prefer the ones in the Quesadilla maker, even if they are a little bit slower if you don't have the ingredients. All right, so take a look at my very unscientific final results as far as the time goes. If you have all the ingredients on hand, you can get a quesadilla in under 7 minutes. If you don't want to mess with any of that and just go to Taco Bell, in my case, it took me about 13. But if I have to go to the store and get the ingredients, for me, it was about half an hour. But that's all I've got. If you've used this quesadilla maker, tell me what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.